Joining me now is host of the To Die For Daily podcast, Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, let's start with this report on Prince Harry. The Sun is saying that he was stopped from joining King Charles at Sandringham during his recent trip to the UK because palace aides feared, and I quote here, they'd never get rid of him. Harry was allegedly told to find a hotel room instead. I mean, is that a shock? Because let's be honest here, he does seem to have put his foot in it again by going and giving interviews about his meeting with his dad. Something I'm sure the palace would prefer to keep private.
I mean, it depends on if you really believe this story. I'm not sure I do, because he showed up at the NFL Honors Award show in Las Vegas pretty quickly after that meeting with his father. An award show he could have canceled, knowing that his dad had cancer and that was breaking news internationally. He opted to still head in that direction. And then we have this weird Sussex.com website, which paints Harry and Meghan as working royals, despite the fact that they're not. It's very glossy and says, look at all we've accomplished, with little to no mention of the fact that they were given their platforms thanks to Harry's relatives. So I don't know if this is necessarily true that he wanted to show up and spend a couple of days at Sandringham with his father, but I do absolutely believe that the King's team wanted to manage that face-to-face meeting, and that they wanted to keep it brief because they know, look at this Good Morning America interview, they know that they can't trust the Sussexes.
Yes. Why must he talk about every interaction with his family? Surely, given the current circumstances, the fact that things are just so strained, he didn't even meet with his brother or Queen Camilla. His father only spent 30 minutes with him. You would think the last thing he'd want to do would be to, again, air the dirty laundry, talk about private family business. That's just going to put him further, fracture his relationship further with the royal family.
It seems like this man, and I say that with a grain of salt, he just learned how to pay his own phone bill, Rita. I feel like he's a very stubborn individual, and I really think he's in desperate need of media training, because you saw him scramble and try to bring all the answers back to Invictus Games. But what he did was he gave media enough to run with. Yeah, oh, Harry thinks that illness will reunite him with his father, when that's not necessarily what he said, and he definitely tried to bring it back to Invictus. So I think that he's in desperate need of media training. I think he doesn't want to talk about his family. You and I both know that that's the only reason anyone cares about him whatsoever.
Well, absolutely. If they're inviting him on a program, it's to talk about that. They're not inviting him to talk about, whatever he's doing with Meghan and the kids in California. There's no interest in that. Now, Kinsey, Taylor Swift has just wrapped up her Melbourne shows. She played at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, biggest crowds she's ever played before, and her fans are spending a lot of money, not just to see her, but on merchandise. Have a look at this.
Total, probably around $7,000.
So it's probably about $5,000, $6,000.
If I include outfits, all the tickets that I've gotten.
Just with all the bracelets, really fortunate enough to be going to multiple shows.
The bracelets that I've made, the accessories.
Outfits, accessories, full shebang.
Probably in the couple grand. I spent $900 on merch. I'm broke.
More than $1,000 for sure. I just spent $400 on merch. So.
They say they're broke, but somehow they're finding $2,000, $7,000, $900 to spend on merchandise, on bracelets. The Swift phenomenon, is it worldwide? Are Australians, particularly Taylor Swift, crazy?
Oh, it's so fun to see Taylor Swift and in Australia and see that reaction. Her Eras tour is expected to bring $1.2 billion to the Australian economy so far. But the Eras tour is currently the most lucrative concert run in American history. Question Pro, I think is the name, surveyed 592 American Swifties about how much they spend around Taylor. And based on their answers and, average concert attendance, that's like like we were talking about the costumes, the bracelets, and all the whole shebang, the hotel rooms and everything. They spent around $93 million per show between all of those things, food, outfits. So I think that Taylor's a moneymaker. You and I have gone into the wrong business. We can make friendship bracelets too. Like, is it too late to jump on board this train?